Hey, it's okay. All right. Welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, and today I'm here with a homie of mine, a ex co-worker of mine,
hmm
comedian today, Mary Romero.
What up,
Am I saying it right? Am I saying it right?
Romeo? Romeo.
Is it Romeo?
It is Romeo. I know people don't believe it. They're like, "Wow,
I want to say
that's
Romeo or say some shit like with the accent or some shit, but
totally."
it's
People are like, "You're
Romeo.
Italian. It's Romeo," or they just add an extra R for no reason, like what you did with Romero. That's all
I
my
tried.
CVS prescriptions are Mary Romero. It's
I'm sorry, Mary. I tried not to do that.
dude, it
I
happens all the time.
promise
It's
you.
totally okay.
I tried not to do that shit, but yeah, it just came out. It was
All
like
good, all good. But
anyway. How
yes.
you been? How you been? What you been up to?
Oh man, I mean, I literally just like ran to this interview, so I've been so busy. I just been like doing like I feel like a real comedian finally. And something like leveled up where I'm now getting to host weekends and I'm getting like paid for it. I'm not living off of it, but
You
it's
get you
just
getting
good.
something. You're getting
Yeah,
something. You're
the
getting
fact that
something.
I'm getting any paid gigs at all is just such a feat to climb over. So
Okay.
I'm excited about that.
Okay.
I'm actually going to
But
San Diego tomorrow to host a Grand
hold.
Comedy Club. Sorry, yeah, I'm
I
just
got you. I got you. I
blurting.
got you. I saw the flyer. You're gonna host some shit. I got you. But Mary, when I met you, we were working at Rudders.
I got the cup right here,
You still got the fucking cup?
dude.
Burn that shit.
I low key like after I stopped working there, became obsessed with Rudders. I just loved because I miss York, PA, so much, and so I
Yeah, you
somehow got
miss it.
over.
No,
I
Mary, you miss it. You miss it because you haven't been there for a while. Go back for a little bit. That's what happened to me with Rudders. With Rudders and with fucking York. I ended up like Pennsylvania. I ended up like if you miss it, you end up going back, and then when you go back, you're like, what the fuck was I missing? There's nothing here.
no, there's not. But that's what I miss. Is just like the quiet, the stillness, the seasons, the park that you got drunk at with your friends in 10th grade, like that sort of hometowny thing. But no, I don't miss working at Rudders at all. I mean, it was the worst job of my life. I remember crying, like taking the trash out, like not being able to physically lift the bags and being like, is this over? Is this where someone's gonna find my dead body in a
No, I, I,
dumpster?
I I would, I feel you because like the one that we worked at, it wasn't like all the Rudders that were in Pennsylvania. But for the people that are listening and don't know about Rudders, Rudders is basically like a gas station mixed with the food kiosk that have the screen that you can put whatever the fuck you want on there. A car wash, at least
That's
ours.
so important.
The one that we worked at was like the one that was like at fucking full capacity at all times. It
Yeah,
was just always
always.
fucking full. The line always hit the back of the store and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a little bit extra. And I remember like at that time I wasn't trying to do anything with myself. I basically told myself, fuck everything that I actually really love. I'm just gonna work. So when you met me, I barely talked. I talked to you because I was like, Mary's cool. I could talk to Mary. But everyone else was like, I would just be like, yeah,
Bro,
and just do
same. I
my
feel like I didn't talk
job.
to anyone but you.
Right. I remember like one time I was like
Yeah.
cleaning out.
Well,
I was cleaning out a dumpster and listening to a podcast, and I'm like, and then Mary rolls up like, "What's up?" and tries to talk to me, and I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta shut off the fucking podcast." And I was trying to shut it off in my pocket and shit. But yeah, like it was
that's
one of those
funny.
jobs that was like a lot of people worked there, but a lot of people they were just happy and content with being in Pennsylvania, being in York. And for me and for
Mm-hmm.
you as well, because at the time I want to say you wasn't thinking about comedy.
Not really, no. I had never even done an open mic actually at that point. I
Right,
can't
right.
remember
And I
like
mean,
what time in my life. Yeah, but I had always like wanted to do like entertainment and write, and I had worked at a news station. I think no, maybe I got the news
right,
station job afterwards actually. So that was like my path. I thought I was gonna be like a reporter, like just something in
right, right.
news, and
That
yeah,
that's where I
it
met you. That's where
honestly
I
didn't
met you,
happen.
Mary. Like you were like you sent me like a link to like some journalism shit. You was a reporter on the fucking on the set or something. Like you were on whatever the fuck happened. You were like, hey, it's Mary, whatever. So like I'm like, oh shit. Like, oh shit, she's trying to do some journalism shit. That's fire. And I remember we had a talk. I'm sure you I don't know if you're still with that guy, but I'm sure there was a guy at the time and you
There
wanted to
was.
leave. You wanted to leave to the West Coast. You wanted to leave to fucking Cali or some shit. And yeah, both were like into the journalism thing, but you wanted to travel and he wanted to just stay
Mhm.
there and keep you captive in a way. I don't want to say that because I don't know if he's
Mhm.
watching shit,
Mhm.
but you know how it goes.
He might be. He might be. um.
Right. Go ahead. Tell me
So
about
yeah,
that.
that did happen. It, I honestly, yeah. So I was dating a guy in college, and we both had like the same, like we both wanted to like do things, but there's a difference between like saying you want to do something and then like actually doing it. And I could just tell, I don't know, that I knew I would never get to do what I was like destined to do if he was by my side. Like that it is a solo
Mm.
act, like finding out who you're truly supposed to be. Like so I had to pull the trigger, man. Didn't kill him, but I broke his heart very much so. So I do feel bad about that, but
You're an
he's doing his thing and I
asshole.
feel like it was
You're an
I am a
asshole,
piece of
Mary.
shit. I that's who I am. That's who I'm figuring out, like who I'm supposed to be. And I feel like honestly, a lot of my set is about me kind of being like low key a piece of shit, but also like kind of a good person at the same time. And I feel like we can be both. You know, you don't have to just be one or the other. You can like
Right,
you can like be
right,
selfish, but also be a good person sometimes. And I feel like I'm trying to figure out a good balance between that because sometimes I
right,
feel like a career driven monster and
right,
I just like I have my blinders on, man. Like ever
right.
since I did my first mic, I was like, I mean, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And everything else that's come in the way of that, I'm like, move, get out.
Get
Move
out your
aside.
way.
Like
Get out the
I'm
fuck out.
going.
Get the fuck out the way. I'm trying to move here.
Right.
I'm trying to go here.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying,
Time
Mary.
to yeah.
When you met me, Mary, like at that time, I was trying to be completely good and wholesome because I went through mad shit and I've also did a lot of bullshit myself. Like because before you met me, I was already touring. I already did a bunch of shit, and at that time, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I'm just gonna go back to York, PA, and die. I'm just gonna go back over there and work and fuck everything that I ever tried to do. Cause I already traveled a bunch of places before you met me and shit. So,
Right.
but I understood what you were saying, where you were like, "Hey, I want to go to Cali and shit," but he's trying to hold me back. He's trying to like say, "Stay here." I'm trying to like go. I don't know. I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah,
Do
it
you?
didn't. So then I ended up dumping him and moving to LA with my best friend.
Which is
And
great.
it
Which is
ended up
great.
just right because like she actually supported me and like wasn't jealous when I went out to a mic and met people. Instead she was like happy for me and supportive and would come to shows and actually now so we've been living in LA for 3 years now. Kind of crazy how much time has passed. But yeah, we've been living here. We now live in Culver City, California, Los Angeles, and we run a show together on the beach. And it's been
You
great.
run. Wait,
We've
wait,
been
wait,
doing
wait,
it for
wait,
like a year
wait,
now.
wait, wait. hold on, Mary. Oh,
Sorry, I'm just spitting words.
hold up. Nah, seriously. So you run a show? What's this show?
Hmm
What's this
I run
show?
two
What
shows.
show? On a
Okay,
beach?
it's
What do
called the
you
Ocean
do?
Mic.
Talk to me.
It's called the
Okay.
Ocean Mic, and we started it in May of last year. So we've been doing it for a year now. We started it in the pandemic, and yeah, it's been crazy. It's been so much fun. We've gotten huge names like Jamie Kennedy and Ron Funches and Trevor Wallace, and just like some really awesome comedians that I look up to and admire, and getting to share the stage with them, which isn't even a stage, just in the sand in your bare feet, like with a beautiful
Okay.
sunset. It's just so
Right.
surreal. And yeah, so I mean, I feel like running a show out here is like a form of currency. Like that's what
It
helps
is.
you get more
It
spots
definitely.
and meet people and network. And
Right.
so I
Because you
kind of
get
knew
to be
that
able to.
going in.
Right. Because you get. Sorry to cut you off, Mary, but it's because you get to like network with other people and set things up accordingly. People come to your show, then you meet some people. Oh, I know this person that does this shit over here, and then you get to do some shit over
Mm-hmm.
there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how long
Yeah,
have you been
and then
doing this though? How long have you been doing it?
so I've been doing comedy now for 3 years. I hit 3 years in March, and I've been doing the beach show for a year, and then I also run a show at the Mint, which is like a music venue in like on the west side of LA. And basically, like I had it's so many long stories. Like you meet so many people through so many things, and then it just, all pans out the way it
Right.
should. But anyways, I
Right.
basically came to them and was like, I really want to run comedy here because they're mostly music. So they let me do comedy on Mondays in this like little back green room. And we would like
Okay.
smoke it out completely, like hot box the shit out of it. And like people who
Right.
didn't even smoke would get high because it was just so infiltrated with marijuana. But it was really fun.
Mary,
And then
Mary, Mary, do you smoke?
yeah,
You smoking?
mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
According to the Rutter's Code of Conduct, you cannot.
You cannot smoke marijuana.
No.
Well, ever since I moved to California, that completely changed for me. It's like smoking
So
cigarettes.
so you
I
did.
feel like smoking cigarettes is worse than smoking weed.
So you didn't smoke before that? Is what you're telling me?
No, I've always like been a stoner, I guess. I mean, I definitely became a heavy one in college, like my freshman year of college, because I was just like alone and I had a bunch of money that like, from like your high school graduation. So I just like blew it on weed. And
Right.
but
Okay. So Mary, tell me. What got you into comedy though? You didn't. You skipped over. I feel like you just jumped over that motherfucker. Like,
right,
woo!
you're
Like,
right.
what got you into comedy?
Okay, well, I mean, I've always just loved like entertainment and writing and this whole like comedy world. In college, I was like on this TV show, this like college produced show, and I would like write letters to myself, like satire advice letters, and I would answer them, and I would always just like write jokes in them, and that's kind of how I started like learning my voice. And then I never thought stand-up comedy was in the cards for me. I just like didn't even know like how it happened, how it worked. I just knew I always wanted to be a writer. So like it's actually kind of a crazy story. I reached out to this aunt who I had never met before. I just knew that she was living out in LA. And I called her and I was like, "Hey, we're related, and can you like help me, like steer me in the right direction? I want to be a writer, a performer, or like just in that world." And she was like, "Well, if you want to write jokes, you have to perform them because it's the most instant form of like gratification. Like if you write a screenplay, no one's going to read it.
Right.
If you
Right.
tell a joke in front of 30 people, you'll know if it's funny or not, and then you can work from there." So she basically was like, you should do stand-up comedy. And so immediately I took her advice and I started doing stand-up, and I took improv classes too at the same time while I was working at the local news station. So I was just trying to juggle all of that. And eventually, like, only like 3 months in, I was like, fuck it, I'm quitting my job. I hate it. I hate being so serious and so sad all the time, writing about people dying and just disease. Like, it was just horrible. So I quit. I became a bartender, started doing comedy, and then like 7 months later is when me and my roommate from college and my best friend moved to LA. And my aunt, who I connected with, she became like my mentor and like just like a best friend. And she let us live with her for like 3 months in LA, and just to get on our feet, because she just believed in us and was like, yeah, come out and do it. So
So your aunt told you to go into comedy. Did your aunt ever do comedy?
yeah, she she still is kind of an actress, but she's done like episodes of like ER and like King of the Hill or something like that. Like, just, you know, she's been like a guest star on a few things.
Right.
But yeah, so she's like been in that world and she kind of knew how it works. She's since, I mean, she doesn't really do it as often. She has another job and a life and children and stuff. But yeah, so then another crazy, you know, networking part of this story is that she introduced me to her cousin, who is a comedian. His name's Jay Larson, and he's you know, he's just like he's been on Comedy Central and some movies and stuff, whatever. But basically, she introduced us, and so I just fully just followed him around. Like, every show that he was at, I would be there. Everywhere he would go, he'd be like, "You are my shadow." Like,
Mary, what kind of shows was he doing? Comedy
like
shows,
comedy shows, yeah. He's a stand-up comedian. So from there, I mean, she introduced us, but I really put in the work to make sure we became friends, and we did. And eventually, you know, I asked him if I could host for him at Laugh Boston, which is where my family's from and where his family's from.
Okay.
And yeah, so I got to do that, and that was my first like time being at a club, and it was with him, and my aunt happened to be in Boston that weekend too. So like, she got to come to the show and see both of us do stand up. It was just like such a fulfilling, like, weird life moment of like, wow, this is exactly like where we're supposed to be. And yeah, it's just kind of beautiful.
Okay.
And now I
So
babysit his kids. That's what I was like running from today,
who,
actually.
wait a minute, because we were late today.
Yeah.
So why the fuck were you late today, Mary? What the fuck's going on?
Because I babysit these two monsters who gave me a raging headache today. I literally had an ice pack on my head like majority of the day, but whatever. They're his children, Jay Larson's kids. So I love them, and they're like kind of like family to me. And so, you know, it's been a priority for sure to watch them and be there for him. And actually it's kind of cool because I feel like I'm becoming more of like his assistant in a way. Like, the other day he had a writing project. He had to write some like roast jokes, and I helped him write some jokes, and he was like, wow, this is really good. Like, I'm impressed. And he didn't ask me to help him. I asked him. I was like, please, I can do this. Like, believe in me.
Right.
Because, you know, I feel like he kind of sees me as just like, you know, a nanny, like a babysitter. I mean, he knows I'm a comedian, but it's hard to like give someone those chances. Like, you really have to ask for them. You have to put yourself out there. And like, pretty much everything I've gotten is because I've been so persistent and annoying and have asked for it. Like, no one gives you shit.
Right. Like, that's a big thing in this industry, whether it's comedy, whether it's music or whatever. You have to be annoying. You have to be okay with being annoying. Mm-hmm. Because if you're not annoying, and if you're not okay with being annoying, you're not gonna overextend yourself the proper way to get
where
what
you need to
you,
be. Yeah.
yeah, where you need to be or what you think you should deserve. Like, so it's just, it's tough. It's
Mm-hmm.
tough because it, like, especially because you're being annoying. If you know better, you'd be like, fuck, I'm being annoying now, but I'm gonna ask again. I'm gonna overextend myself another
Mm-hmm.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what was the lockdown like for you though? Because
Um.
you was in Cali. You was in Cali. So I
Yeah.
want to know how was it? How were you dealing with it? Because I know you started coming out with new dance moves and shit.
Yeah.
Mary had new dance moves for y'all. As soon as she got locked down, she was starting to two step. She was hitting the shits.
That's
She was doing
hilarious.
something. She was doing
Yes.
something.
Dude, I needed a creative outlet so badly, and I just saw, and I was like heavily on TikTok, and I just saw this girl moving, and I was like, dude, I mean, shuffling is what the dance is called.
Shuffling, yeah, like
Right.
LMFAO.
Yeah,
Shuffling,
yeah.
like yeah, I see that. I was
Shuffling.
like LMFAO dance moves. You was
I feel like it's this like new trend kind of this like shuffle dance. Like I saw it on TikTok and I just watched her move and I was like, dude, I want to do that so badly. And of course, when I started, I sucked so badly. Like just looked like an inflatable like thing at the car
No, no, no,
salesman.
no, Mary. You ain't gotta say all that because I saw you. I saw the first little steps you were doing. You were looking a little stiff. You was just, you was looking a little crazy, and then
Totally.
eventually, by like 9, I
Mm-hmm.
saw that you was starting to get it. You was doing the dance move. You were turning the circle. You
Right.
got all this shit
Got a
down.
little loose. Right.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
So yeah, I mean that was fun for me. It helped me like keep me in shape and just like busy and something to do. And then what else did I do? I mean, it was just a long, long, lonely months. I wrote a screenplay. I wrote a pilot. I did
You
some
wrote
like
a
video.
pilot. Hold up. See, this is what I'm talking about. You just graze over some shit. I wrote a pilot. I wrote a pilot. You just grazed over that shit. Come on, girl. You wrote a pilot.
My
What was the
roommate, yeah.
pilot about?
So my
What was the
roommate and
pilot
I,
about?
we co-wrote a pilot. It's called Getting It. It's just like about like two girls who moved to LA from like white trash Philly girls try and fit in LA. Is kind of the vibe.
Mary, you consider yourself white trash, don't you?
Absolutely, yes.
Why? Why do you consider? No, you don't. You're not. No. Why do
I
you
mean,
say you?
first of all, I got the Johnson and Johnson shot, so like I feel like that alone like is pretty trashy.
No, I heard of millionaires that got the fucking Johnson and Johnson. It's just like the one and done.
Right. I don't know
And the
why.
fact that you got a shot is a thing because like I didn't get no
Right.
shot. I'm
I
avoiding
shouldn't
the
have gotten
shots.
that shot, is what I should
Why
say. But that's a whole separate thing.
why did you get a shot?
Well, I was just kind of feeling pressure, like living in California, like yeah, totally. It's like this is just such a weird state. We're the last ones to like officially like reopen everything and just like get back to normal. And I
Right.
wanted to get back to normal, and like I'm sick of this shit. So I just thought I should get it. And comedy clubs, they need you to be vaccinated in order to get in sometimes, or like proof of a negative COVID test, which just seems tedious to do every time you want to
Right.
go to the comedy store. So
Right.
I did it, and I mean I had a fucking terrible experience. Did you see my bit on Instagram?
No, about the COVID shot?
Yeah.
No.
So I got
You
the
mean about?
vaccine.
Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, I got the vaccine, and it was Johnson and Johnson. And like 6 hours later, I had temporary body paralysis. Like I was straight up screaming in pain. I was hit by a car earlier this year, and that hurt
Wait a
worse.
minute. Wait a minute. You got hit by a car?
I
Mary,
was in like a car accident.
you just out here getting hit by cars, traveling, doing comedy, you just living your life, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a few bumps and scrapes along the way, but like it's fine. Yeah, my roommate and I were in an accident last year, actually, in June. So it was, we were in the car. I mean, we were hit.
Okay.
We
So
were hit
it
by
was
a
a car accident. You didn't
Yes.
get hit
Yeah,
by
I
a
wasn't like,
car,
right.
bare ass, smacked
Yeah, I didn't
across
like
the fuck.
get raw
Okay.
dogged by a car. I was inside the
Okay.
car,
Gotcha.
and the car hit us, and like my face got really messed up. But
Yeah,
what I'm
some
saying is
bruises.
the shot hurt worse than that. Than like,
So you said it was paralysis, so you shouldn't have felt nothing, but you felt something.
oh,
It
my
hurt you.
entire body like locked up. My wrists went fully down like this. I couldn't unclench them.
So you
I don't
turn
know.
into a little T-Rex. You
Dude,
turn into a
yes,
baby T-Rex.
absolutely.
Okay.
Couldn't
And then
move
what
my
happened?
legs. Felt like a full Charlie horse throughout my entire body. Like it was crazy. My roommate started like freaking out, and she called 911, and the paramedics showed up and everything. Like it was just like a whole thing. And eventually they got me to like calm down and breathe. But what they told me, they were like, "Ma'am, this is all happening to you right now because you're not breathing properly." And I
Well,
was like,
maybe you should breathe properly, Mary. This is all your fault.
exactly. I was like, oh, so you're calling this a panic attack? Like, I'm pretty sure this is happening to me because I got the fucking vaccine 6 hours ago.
Right.
Whatever, So it's
Mary, you shouldn't have got the Johnson & Johnson. You're in Cali now. You shouldn't act on your PA trashy ways.
exactly.
You should be a little better about your things.
But you know what? I'm realizing that's who I am, and I'm trying to, like, maybe I was doing it so that I would have material. Like, I don't know. I don't know why I did it, but maybe my subconscious was telling me like you'll get 10 minutes out of this.
No, Mary. That fucking vaccine is trash. And you went for the Johnson & Johnson because you try to go the cheap route. You try to go the easy,
Right, because I'm
lazy
a
route.
lazy piece of shit. That's
I
my
understand. And
identity.
right. I understand. I identify as a lazy piece of shit as well. So I get you. One can understand another. That's kind of the thing. Because like I would probably try to go for the Johnson & Johnson if I didn't know Johnson & Johnson was a piece of shit. I would, but the one shot and done, that sounds beautiful. That sounds
It
beautiful.
does. It's a
Two
twofer.
times? I gotta go see y'all motherfuckers 2 times? I ain't got time for that.
No. Absolutely
Right?
not. 30 days apart from each other? You're telling me, like, I mean, I know I have that much time to plan, but
I gotta schedule you in between my life? No, absolutely not. Go fuck yourself. That's how I feel. No, but anyway, so you were out in Cali. I know you probably saw Joshua Tree and all that shit too. Look at you. You're like, I saw Joshua Tree. I saw Joshua and his tree. No. So have you ever dabbled in psychedelics since you've been out there?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
What kind of psychedelics have you dabbled in, Mary?
Well, I mean, I've dabbled in psychedelics like before I moved to California. Like in college and stuff. Did some acid. Didn't have a good like I feel like we overindulged in that because we were like, oh, this is fun, and so we did it like 3 times in 1 week, and we were like, all right, too much acid now. Let's cut back. So from there, I kind of like didn't really do that much anymore. But I really fuck with shrooms. I just think shrooms are like, I don't do it like often, but if I'm on a trip or in Joshua Tree or something.
If you're on a trip, then maybe you should trip, right? Exactly. Right. So why didn't you like the acid? What was it about the acid that you didn't like that you liked about the shrooms?
Well, I think that like we were just young, dumb, and naive, and when you are on your own, you're just like, oh, I can do whatever I want. I have so much freedom. And then you overindulge and you're like, oh, wait, this is, I'm making bad decisions and I should probably calm down. So I think we just like took too much, honestly. We did it like 3 times in like a 1 week span. So that was, that kind of ruined it for me. I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But shrooms, I mean, I I just feel like it's like a different, like, earthy experience. It's not so like trippy. It's I like, you see the psychedelic part of it, but it's also just
Right.
you feel good. You feel like loving and like grateful, and you just like think about things and you reflect,
Right.
and
Right.
I like that part.
Yeah, because like shrooms is a little bit closer to like Molly, and Molly makes you feel like love and happy, and I want to hug somebody, and I love
Right.
everybody in this room. I love all of you. I love all of you. You know, but LSD kind of like missed that. It kind of misses that mark. It doesn't have the love factor. It gives you the visuals. It gives you like the different perspective,
Hmm.
but it doesn't really give you that love in your heart the
Yeah.
way Shroom does.
Hmm.
So I get you. I get you. It's been a long time since I fucking did some shrooms. I probably need to like grow some shrooms because I don't know anybody in this area that has shrooms. So I might need to grow them. Look, I want to let everybody know that's in the chat that's gonna watch this shit later. It is legal to grow shrooms, but once it becomes a shroom, it's illegal.
This shit makes no sense. They like try and like beat around the bush as hard as they can. They're like, you can do it, but once it's done, now you're in fucking trouble.
Right. You can actually like get a syringe full of spores that's gonna grow the proper shrooms to get you right and get you in a different fucking dimension. But and you can order this shit online if you wanted to. Not a dark web, regular website like mushroom.com type shit. You look it up, I'm sure you'll find it. You know that it's like very, very like on the nose about doing mushrooms. But once you grow it, it's illegal.
That's so weird. Dude,
So take
again,
that as you will. Take it as you will.
I feel
What
like the
happened?
drugs in California, they just get so much more like lax every year. Like I've been to shows where they're like comedy shows where there's like a taco truck here and then just like a table with like a jar of shrooms and people are just selling shrooms at a comedy club.
Mary, where the fuck are you? I want to go over there. What the fuck?
Bro, okay,
Where's the invite?
Ocean
I'm
Beach,
sick of this shit.
Ocean Beach, San Diego. It's like I wonder if you can see the back of my shirt. It's like the trippiest place ever. I love it. Love going there. I'm going there tomorrow actually. But they have this like festival, like it's like a farmer's market, but it's a festival. And literally there's this tents up where they sell like chocolate mushroom, just out in the open. No one says
Right.
anything. No one cares. It's just like selling a pack of cigarettes. If you sold a pack of like again, like the cigarettes thing, like I feel like you're more judged if you're smoking a cigarette out in public than if you're smoking weed.
Right. I 100% agree because it's even like in Illinois in Illinois yeah, it's legal now. So now that it's legal, like if I remember I was smoking cigarettes for a little bit. I wasn't smoking cigarettes when I met you. I smoked cigarettes after that for like 2-3 years. I stopped smoking cigarettes, but when I was smoking, everywhere I went, people would look at me crazy. But now there's weed everywhere. If you had a fucking blunt, no one even would look at you crazy. They'll look at you
No.
like, okay, you about to get high. You about to get right. Like what? So
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's just crazy the way the world changed. But I'm happy we ain't smoking cigarettes. Are you smoking cigarettes, Mary? Yeah, you smoking cigarettes, motherfucker.
Like so occasionally, like I can't even. I'm so not addicted to cigarettes. Like every time I try to become addicted, and I can't. I can't finish a pack. Every time I buy one, it just gets shoved at the bottom of my purse, and then it like it's just been so long since I've even touched one. I'm like I can't. Yeah,
That's good.
I can never
That's
finish a pack.
fucking.
Is what I'm saying.
That's good. That's good. It's like cigarettes are so nasty, and like life. I
They
don't know
are.
if it's.
Can
I
you
won't
believe
say life.
that you could smoke them on planes? Like at one point
that
you could
we
smoke
that we
them on an
used to could
airplane.
smoke them on planes and shit. Like everybody, imagine people used to smoke them at work.
God, it's insane.
Just be sitting at work like, hey, I got your fucking talking on the phone or something, and it's like
Cheaping.
40 people just smoking, just chain smoking in this fucking office room. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But yeah, I get you. Like it's hard to let go. But get yourself a vape. What are you scared of? Do you want to smoke on a robo dick? Is that what it is, Mary?
No, I smoke many forms of weed. It's crazy. It's like going to a dispensary in California is like entering Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. Like there's fucking gummies and chocolate and cartridges and flour and fucking
Right.
shatter and shit.
Right.
Like it's wild.
Unfortunately, in most of the Midwest states that I've been into and the one that I'm living in now, the problem is they're giving out these vouchers for people to own dispensaries and own like growing operations or whatever, only to the rich. So only to the rich, and because it's only to the rich, we're getting this like really, really medicinal looking weed. This medicinal, like the packaging it doesn't look cool. It doesn't give you like extra milligrams of anything. It's just 2,550. It's like
Just the
the
most
same
standard, basic.
bullshit. Like you could run through those gummies. Like a gummy is like $8 for like 25 milligrams. You could run through those fucking gummies. And you might get a little buzz for the day. Like you might get high for the day, but like you could chill on them, but it's not really hitting. It's not hitting. Like it's not like, yo, I'm high as fuck.
Okay,
It's
see,
like
I don't know what edibles you're eating, but anytime I eat an edible, I mean, I just become one with the couch or I'm passed out. But
okay, but how what's the size of the edible? Because I'm
that's
having
true.
like 5 milligram, 10.
Yeah, that
That's
ain't
how
shit.
they exactly. That's all they're doing is 5 and 10 milligrams. If
But
they
that's
were
why you
doing
have to
like,
go to the illegal shops. There are illegal ones. They're the ones
oh,
that
I
the
gotta
ones
go
that
to
make
illegal
fun.
shit and get arrested and get fucked over. Thank you,
No, it's
Mary.
not your
Thank you.
problem. If you go to an illegal shop, you won't get in trouble. Just the people working there will.
I just gotta point the finger.
there
I got it. I got it from them.
are
Nah,
some there are some dispensaries in LA where they sell like 100 milligram gummies, which are obviously not federally like market. You know, like standard is the 5 to 10, and then you walk into a shop where there's like a piece of paper like on the door that just says "Hey, welcome," and you're like, all right, this is the good shit. This is the back alley.
shit. You're making me jealous. What the fuck? You're
Move to
making me
Cali. It's the best
jealous.
way. I mean, but besides the whole pandemic shit, the drugs here are great. The the whole rules and guidelines aren't, but we can move past it. It's fine.
I feel you. Okay. So because of the lockdown, you ended up starting to dance or some shit. What do you plan to do with your dancing? Are you gonna do it in your fucking comedy routine, or are you just gonna start dancing on Broadway or some shit?
I
Mary, like,
mean, I don't know where it'll take me. We actually, so I told you about my roommate who moved here with me 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. We have another friend who came out. She's also from Pennsylvania. She came out, so now the three of us all live together, and she's also a shuffler, which is the term for it, I guess. And so we dance together, and we just like make up little routines and stuff, and it's just something fun, which is not something I would ever do. Like I feel like when I put my time into something, I'm like, okay, this has to take me from A to B. And with dancing, it's like it's not like that. It's just something I do for fun, and I don't know how to have fun if it's not going to like have an end result or something.
right?
So I think that's why I like it, is because I can just like do it, and like it just takes my mind off of it. And if I'm in a bad mood, I'll do it, and it makes me feel better. And it's like going on a run for some people, but like yeah, it's just fun to like move your body and get, I don't know, get loose. And I'm doing it for me. Like, I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm not trying to like prove a point. It's just a fun thing that I do for myself. And I think it's just another aspect of me of like, I'm just, you know, I like to like be bright and positive usually, and I like to like be happy and like you can't not be happy when you're dancing. And
Right.
laughing and dancing, that's like the fucking key best things of life. So I'm just happy that I get to be able to do both.
Right. Right. So what about you touring? Because you have a job with a weird boss that's making you stay late and all this other shit. But what about you touring? Because you've been touring. You toured in April, right?
Yeah, so touring is a very generous word. Thank you for using that. I've been going to San Diego more often because it's only 2 hours away from here, and my best friend from childhood, she lives there, so I go as much as I can. I was there the first time I went down there for comedy was probably a month ago. I was able to do 5 spots in 3 days. And from that, it just led to like so many opportunities. I then got to host at a club down there on like a random Wednesday, which was last week. And then now I'm hosting at another, like a different club this weekend. So doing comedy there has just opened so many doors for me. And I definitely feel myself just like leveling up and just getting more things and meeting more people.
Right.
And I was just in Utah last weekend for a comedy festival with like my 4 female friends and me. We just got to go and like do some shows there for like the Mormons of St. George, Utah, and they loved it. And we got to like do such fun shit during the day too. Like we went tubing down a lazy river on
Right.
shrooms too, by the way. So that was incredible. We didn't have our
On
phones.
shrooms?
We didn't have our
Yo,
phones.
don't
We
rub it
didn't have
in.
phones.
Don't fucking rub it in, Mary. Don't rub it in. What
I'm
the fuck is
sorry. I'm
wrong
just
with you?
talking about my life.
Okay, hand me your business. Go ahead.
um, we went jumping off a cliff into the water. We went dune buggying. Like we just got, it was a full on retreat of just like having so much fun and then getting to do stand up at night. It was just unbelievable. And then I haven't really like told many people about this, but I guess I will. I'm planning a cross country comedy road trip in August called All My Friends Are Getting Married Tour, because everyone is fucking getting married and it's pissing me off that I have to attend all these things.
Wait,
I've
wait,
declined.
wait, 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 wait. Why is it pissing you off?
It doesn't.
That everyone
I'm
else is
excited.
no. You're not excited. You're mad. You're absolutely vivid. So why?
Well, it just all happened at once. Like I was invited to like 7 to 8 weddings in the past year. So it was kind of overwhelming, and I felt bad because I had to not go to some of them. Obviously, I can't make it to everyone. So I had to decline some. But then the ones that I am going to are like my best friends of like 20 plus years. So
Right.
I have 3 weddings in 4 months. And you know,
Mm.
it's just a lot, and
It's
it's
a lot of
fun.
content. It's a lot of content.
But
It's
that's
a
what it
lot
is,
of
exactly. So I'm
material.
like, if I'm gonna travel and go to weddings, then I'm gonna make a trip out of it and do comedy. So I'm gonna drive from LA to Philly and go to my first friend's wedding at the end of August, and then my cousin's
Right.
getting married the beginning of October. So I'll be on the
Right.
East Coast for like a month,
Okay.
trying to do comedy in DC and Philly and Baltimore and Jersey and wherever I can.
Okay. So who's booking these shows? Do you have an agent or are you doing this shit all yourself?
I'm doing it all myself. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if I had an agent. I haven't really looked into that yet because I just don't really know how it works. And I just feel like I've been pretty proactive in booking stuff myself. So I'm just gonna do it. I mean, I'm also extremely persistent and annoying. So I feel like if anyone can do it, it's gonna be me. And yeah, I mean, I just have a way of like finding people through like hashtags and stuff, and just like sliding in their DMs and being like, "Yo, I'm gonna be in
Okay,
town."
okay. So Mary, you're a creep. You're creeping on
I'm a creep
people.
for sure. Yeah, that's another part of my identity. I'm a lazy piece of shit, and I'm a creep.
Damn. Good qualities. Good
Yeah,
qualities to have.
but for some reason, like, it's okay. Like, I think it's because I own it and I'm aware of it and I like know what I'm doing, and it's not like
Right.
I think the worst people are like the people who have traits that they're unaware of. Like when
Right.
people are lazy and they don't know it or don't think they are, I'm like,
Right.
that makes you a worse person. If you just admitted it, we'd probably
Right.
be more.
Right. Just the awareness itself
Mm-hmm.
would like push you in a better direction. But if you're
Mm-hmm.
fucking just unaware of all the bullshit that you're doing to the world and to
Yeah.
yourself,
Yeah.
then how the fuck you gonna learn? How the fuck you gonna move forward? How the fuck you gonna progress? I
Totally.
get you. I get you. I get you, Mary. Yo, Mary, where can they find you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mary Romeo. I have some clips on YouTube if you want to look that up. It's also Mary Romeo. But yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Yo, find Mary Romeo. I fucked it up before. I was like Romeo. I was trying to like make it cool, like a
Yeah,
different
Alpha
accent.
Romeo.
I didn't think it was Romeo.
It
And
is.
I
I know.
worked with
Romeo
you.
and
No one
Juliet.
fucking
Yeah.
told me. Yo, I appreciate everybody coming through for the live. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time and attention. It's Mary Romeo, Demonic Poet, aka Poet and the Rock Stars, the Street Shaman Podcast, and we the fuck out of here.
Thank